I really wanted him to yell Kenobi for some reason, but that obviously wasn't happening here. You know, there was no reason for that to happen. So
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Kenobi.
I love the way. I mean, he does. He's really mad at Obi-Wan, man. He's really mad. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Grim Grinning Dads, the show where three Disney-loving dads share tips, tricks, and a whole lot more. My name's Charlie, and I'm joined as always by Caleb and Tyler. Fellas, hope you got your walking shoes on and your caffeine levels high, because in today's episode, we're diving into the ultimate dad debate. We're going to do a coast-to-coast Disney comparison, where we're going to compare Disneyland and Disney World through the dad lens. Everything from stroller logistics and the bubble feel to where you can find the best spot to sit for 20 minutes while the kids meet a princess. But before we settle which coast is right for you and your family, we have to talk about what's been happening in the news this week. Oh, one other thing that I should do before we even jump into all that stuff is say that we are a part of a team of travel advisors. See, when I don't write it down in the intro stuff, I forget about it. So we are a part of team of travel advisors. We do not in any way represent the Disney company, but we specialize in Disney destinations and would love to help you book your next trip to the Disney World or Disneyland or any Disney park. Or anywhere, actually, around the world, because we do all the things. So reach out to us. There's a note in the show notes below, and we hope to hear from you. So news items for this week. Tyler, we got some delicious news about Six Ravens. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, that we did. Six Ravens might be opening sooner than we thought. So it is. It's on the Disney World website as coming soon. It's been reported that it's opening this summer, which I'm selfishly hoping that means it could be open in a couple of weeks when I'm there, although I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. But we got, so that news of opening this summer, we have a little bit more information on some menu items, nothing super specific, but they did confirm that they are going to have some side dishes with a bunch of different dips, root beer on tap, like Steve let us know. If you haven't checked out that episode yet, please go back. And it's the Man Behind the Cookie episode, which is a great one.
We'll link to that episode up here.
It'll be a top corner. Yeah, it'll be the top corner.
Yeah. So, potato dishes with dips like sweet heat and honey mustard. I mean, sign me up. This just sounds great. And confirmed that they're going to have some dessert tarts. In our interview, Steve mentioned he wasn't sure if they wanted to do dessert there, but I'm sure he caved to some pressure on that one.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And I think just having a full experience, right? If you're getting the yeast roll as like your main dish, you got to have something sweet to balance it out. So very, very exciting, coming sooner than we thought. So sometime between end of May and August, most likely, it sounds like. So really looking forward to that. If we ever get a exact date, it's going to be hard for me to not book a flight immediately to try to be there for opening day.
So Tyler, I just want you to know, the end of August into September, I'm going to be there.
Okay. You might be the first of us to experience this, unless they pull a minor miracle and are open in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I saw the picture. Did they actually redo the facade outside?
I think they were just adding
AI
some
generated?
No, they're adding some theming. I don't know how much.
I just didn't know if
they
that was
redid
done yet.
anything like structurally, but I know they were adding some elements to it.
But when we were just there, I went to Disney Springs. I got us Gideon cookies, as you gotta do, and they hadn't done any of that stuff on the outside. And that was only a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
I'll be curious to see, because we're gonna have a resort and Disney Springs Day here in a couple of weeks. So I will definitely go by the site, whether it's open or not, and take some photos and report back.
I was gonna say, I have some pictures of it somewhere. I'll throw them up so people can see them. Here, I'll throw up some pictures. Right. Hold on. I'm just gonna there. I'm excited for Six Ravens because Gideon's is awesome.
Gideon's is great. And something about when we talk to Steve, his passion really comes through in how he talks about how meticulous they are. So I'm very confident that anything that gets his stamp of approval to be put on the menu is going to be high quality. I'm sure this place is going to be massively
Top notch.
popular. But if it's anything like Gideon's, it'll be worth the wait. So
it's going to be rough because like the location of it is not awesome for lines.
They're going to have to virtual queue it. I mean, that's the only thing. Like,
I mean, they can virtual queue it, but then like the thing about Gideon's is like you have the virtual queue and then you have the line after the virtual queue. Like
they'll just have to do like you cannot get in this line until a specific time because we don't have the space for it. Like they'll just have to have staff out there kind of managing that. I think it's doable. You're just going to have to kind of train people that aren't familiar with how the virtual queue works, but I think it'll be great.
You remember what you did for Tron and you remember what you did for Guardians? That's what we're doing.
People don't remember.
So you want a coffin? You want a coffin, take your number and come back when it's ready.
I want a coffin. I've wanted a coffin since the minute he talked about what was in the coffin and the everything, everything bagel seasoning.
The breakfast one with the everything bagel seasoning. Yeah.
I also am excited because he's going to have beer pairings with it.
Oh,
like they're doing beer pairings. So I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah. I got to give me that. I got to give me that mug. I got to give me that mug.
Attention to detail with everything. Like it's all going to be really great. And I think he's probably considered a lot of that stuff ahead of time in terms of the lines and stuff. Like I don't have any doubt that it's going to be an okay to great experience that will be worth it for people for sure. All right, Caleb, let's talk about AI a little bit. Do you have the story pulled up?
I do.
Okay.
And it is one of the things that when people cry wolf and they freak out the town, it's wild, right? Like it just gets insane and people take things way too literally when they don't go and they do their own research. So what I'm talking about is Josh D'Amaro, CEO of the Walt Disney Company, came out in his Q2 earnings call and said that they're going to have a AI strategy to use AI to help reduce the complexity of planning a Disney vacation. And when all of the travel agents heard that, they went, oh no, the world is coming to an end. The sky is falling. Guys, that's not at all true. At all. I think they tried that with Genie when that was a thing. And like, it was fine, but it wasn't awesome. And if they could make that any bit better, like that'd be cool. But like, he lays out some things that they want to help solve. And one of those things is dining reservations, lighting lane selections, resort choices, park hours, crowd calendars, logistics, inside the gates. So it's all like, it's all stuff that like, I think us as travel agents can help use and utilize to make the experience better for customers. Disney has said over and over and over again, and actually I've got like stacks and stacks of stuff from Disney that says Disney loves travel agents. They're not going to get rid of travel agents. They're just not.
Yeah. And I think what they will look to improve is the in-park experience, not so much the planning ahead part of it. Because I think that's where the biggest opportunity is.
Now, they did mention like resort choices, but all that really means is like, it'll be like a questionnaire, right?
Yeah. It'll nail you down.
Like you fill it out
for you. Yep.
Right. What are the things that you value, which kind of makes our job a little bit easier because it gives us a tool to give them to be like, hey, fill this out and tell me what it pops up with.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go over that resort and then like other resorts that are similar to that, or where you're willing to sacrifice and where you really aren't willing to sacrifice. Like it's just a better strategic thing for us as advisors to really understand our clients more. So why wouldn't we embrace that?
Yep.
I know I will.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think we are probably all guilty of using AI to some degree to help us with what we plan for clients anyway. I mean, I think, it's not something that I use to like do all the planning, but it can definitely supplement or streamline some things. I've also definitely used it if somebody asks a question about a destination that I'm not familiar with, like, somebody's like, I booked a transatlantic cruise for somebody. They're going to spend a couple days in London. And I haven't been to London in a long time. So then I was like, okay, what are some cool things to do around this specific area of London where their hotel is going to be? And like, that's the kind of thing like where it's useful. So you're not totally relying on it as a crutch, but it can be a helpful tool, better than something like a Google search.
Right. And that's where people like stopped reading when it came to this
Yep. The
AI
headline
thing,
was it. The
right?
headline,
Like they
period.
stopped
They were
reading
like,
that.
ah!
But then you get in and like Josh Tomorrow talks about how it's going to help advance Disney's creative legacy, and it's going to personalize like things like Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN and ad targeting and things like that. Like he's looking to make it a strategic addition to the company, not to replace anything or anybody. So I think people just got way too caught up in the Chicken Little moment of the sky falling, and they didn't actually read what was said. It's kind of crazy, but I mean, is AI something that like a lot of people mistrust? Sure. Like I have some like I've even had where like I've typed into like chat or Gemini or whoever, doesn't even really matter, and like it brings up something, I'm like, that's not correct. Like you're not right. But like when I type in like lightning lane selections and things like that for each park, for whatever reason, like it still says Genie Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it's not Genie Plus. Like stop saying Genie Plus. So it's something that is a tool. It's not a replacement. So everybody calm down. You'll be fine. You can still help people have a magical time, even with AI.
Well, you're also, even if AI was to take over a majority of what we do, the conversational aspect of jumping on the
Right.
phone or like walking them through via a video of the stuff that you got for them. Like last night, I was on the phone with a client who's traveling Thursday, and we were walking through her final things. And, you know, she hadn't told me that she wanted a memory maker, and but that she had booked it prior to. So like if you don't tell AI that you want something, then you're never going to get that. So like we discovered that just in our conversation of running through the different things. AI wouldn't have caught that for her. And I was like, okay, well, let's go in. And you know, AI probably also wouldn't have caught that there was somehow another 7-day trip in her cart for Beach Club later this year that needed to be removed. So AI would have just run her credit card for $7 or $8,000, and then would have been like, yeah, this is fine. Where, you know, it probably wouldn't have gone through because that's a pretty significant thing. But yeah, that was that was pretty gross. And that's something that AI would not have caught. So we provide a personal touch to the things we're recommending, and we can agree or disagree based on our experiences, which AI doesn't necessarily have. So.
And to that fact too, right? As us travel agents and what we do, we genuinely care. You can't force a machine to care. You can't even program it to care. There's got like there has to be that connection that gets made. Like every client that I talk to, yesterday I was on the phone for 3 hours with a client, just going over dining and things like that because it was their 61st day. And then this morning I had to book their dining, just to find out, like, what are you guys actually wanting? Like, are you wanting to do character dining? Are you not wanting to? Are you just wanting to eat around the world? Like, what are you guys looking to do? Because like you gave me some general ideas, but you didn't give me any actual feasible things to book for you or not book. So we had a great conversation, and I found out that her daughter loves princesses, but like they don't like Norwegian food. So I said, "You're doing a breakfast at in Norway. Like that's what you're doing." Like, and she's like, "Yeah, we want to do a princess dining." And I'm like, "Cool, not Cinderella's royal table. Just not happening." So it's good, and AI will never replace the human connection. It just won't. And I do like the idea that this would potentially bring in like the opportunity to put your phone down.
Mm.
Like
Yep.
that is something that it could do, because even when I was there last with you, Tyler, like I was on my phone too much, and that, regardless of getting content and photos and videos and stuff, I was on my phone too much, and it frustrated me. I was like, "God, I just want to put this stupid thing down."
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was trying to get the content because that was kind of the focus of our like training that we had, but also like the lightning lane stuff has to be streamlined in some way.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What about you, Charlie? You got any news?
Yeah, I'm going to jump into just two really quick ones. Number one is the Level 99 Disney Springs is hiring 150 staff ahead of their summer 2026 opening. Actually, kind of brought to the forefront that they have a Natick, Mass location, which I think I probably should take my son to at some point. Because Level 99, if you don't know, it's a social gaming venue built around more than 60 life-size mini games, like dodging axes, cracking puzzles, outsmarting physical challenges, and it's aimed at adults and teens. So, I mean, my son being 11 is basically a teenager, so we'll definitely have to check all of that stuff out. But the Disney Springs location, kind of a major thing to note here is it's going to be their largest location in the country, with 63 mini games in total, which is more than any of the other ones.
That's
I'm
the
excited for it.
former Disney Quest building.
Yeah. So the former Disney Quest building, also the former NBA Experience building.
It's
So
always
if you
Disney
if
Quest
you
for
go,
me.
in my mind, it was Disney Quest as well. My wife and I went there one time, and I was incredibly underwhelmed by what I was expecting. What I was expecting is Level 99, and what I got was not Level 99. It was very limited amounts of things to do. Like, we walked in, it was I think it was included in our ticket pricing at the time, and we walked in, we looked around for like 5 to 10 minutes. We were like, wow, this okay. We were underwhelmed, and we walked out, and then we did our Cirque du
The
Soleil.
problem with Disney Quest is that it didn't age well, and they didn't update it nearly enough to keep up with the times. When it was brand new, it was awesome. I remember going there as a kid, and it was almost like having an extra park on property because you could make a day of it.
Sick.
But yeah, it just didn't age. Like the coolest thing, if I remember correctly, was like you build your own roller coaster and then like ride it in the simulator, and that was awesome. But
That's
like the graphics
sick.
didn't get updated, and yeah, so it just kind of ages out. So this Level 99, from what I've read about it, I've never been to one, but it seems like it's a little bit more future proof because it's not as reliant on like current technology, and having like the life size things a little bit more interactive just seems like it's going to be a little more timeless in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what I'm seeing as well. It looks really, really cool. So that's exciting. Another kind of exciting thing that Disney is doing, Adventures by Disney has revealed some new 2027 trips with locations in Thailand, Croatia, and Slovenia. So I think that that's really exciting. I swear I'm going to get on one of these Adventures by Disney at some point, because the locations and the attention to detail and the knowledge that they bring to those locations is phenomenal. So, like, highlights include exploring the Grand Palace in Bangkok and the ruins of some name I'm not even going to try to butcher. It starts with an A UNESCO World Heritage Site, traveling Bangkok's historic canals by private klong boat, hands-on cooking and tea garden experiences. I mean, like, that's so when I went to Italy, we did some of these types of things, but we weren't guided by anybody. Imagine going to this location, somebody who knows the location, they're an expert in that location. They take you for hands-on cooking and tea garden experience in Thailand. I mean, I don't know, man. I would be very excited to jump into one of these for sure.
The cool thing about Adventure by Disney is they do give quite a unique experience to all these places. Like I have a family interested in going on a South Africa ABD in like 2027, and we were looking at it for this year, and that I was looking at the itinerary and I was like, this is wild. Like, you're going on like a daytime safari, a morning safari, an evening safari, and like you're doing that several times in this nature preserve. And I'm like, what in the world is going, like, why have I never seen this before or tried this before? I want to give it a shot. So I'm with you. I want to do some of these and see if I can make it to one. I know they're a little expensive, but
they are. But for what you're getting, I think
Right.
if you were to balance out the cost over like what you're getting there, for instance, They have a Sicily and Amalfi Coast, Italy, 8-day excursions through lava fields on Mount Etna. You can visit the Greek theater of Teatro Greco with views of the Ionian Sea, a private puppet show and workshop at a UNESCO-recognized Sicilian Muppet Theater, and then pasta making in
Muppet Theater?
Puppet Theater.
Muppet. I heard Muppet.
I thought you said
It's Muppet.
Sicilian Muppet Theater, and I was
Sicilian,
like, what?
so we'll have to go back to the tape and
We
check
have
that
a
out.
Sicilian
Did I
Kermit
say
the Frog.
some Sicilian Muppet? It's Kermit with a beret or some sort of
Right.
Italian hat. And then the last thing, like again, all you have to do to get in my heart is show me a place where you're like doing some pasta making. So pasta making, and a ceramics workshop. Like all of this is included in the 8-day, Amalfi Coast, which they've reimagined, and like they obviously have some pretty crazy professional photographers taking these pictures because it looks insane.
Yeah.
But the bookings open for this May 15th, 2026. And we would love to book this for you because the firsthand experience of this type of tour looks amazing. And just adding those, adding Thailand, Croatia, and some new Slovenia itineraries just makes it, top notch. So reach out.
The Thailand itinerary.
Mhm.
This is the one that I want to do the most because there's one of the things in here that I want to do absolutely the most, and it's the Elephant Poo Poo Paper Park.
Poo Poo Paper.
Poo Poo Paper. Take part in a humorous and unique lesson on sustainability in a hands-on workshop where you will create and decorate your own paper made from elephant dung.
You had me at dung.
What? What is this thing? I'm curious now. Like, I'm curious. I want to know about this.
Well, you enjoy that, Caleb, and let us know how that goes.
What? Yeah. So, and then, I can't say that word because it sounds like something else, but the elephant sanctuary also looks fun.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what the word is.
Phuket.
It's Phuket. Yeah.
It's Phuket. Yeah.
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 Yep. I kind of had an idea that was the word you were referencing, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, fun stuff. But I want to do that elephant sanctuary because like elephants, right? They're cool.
Yeah.
They are cool.
Yeah. Somebody got to spend some time with elephants recently.
He did.
I don't know who that person is.
Oh, dude, 10 days for $8,000.
Right.
Okay.
Now,
that's not bad.
It's not bad, but you have to, in your mind, as a person who might budget for that, is $8,000. How many people? One.
That's per person.
Yeah. So it's $8,000 per person. The value is there for what you're doing. But you also have to fly there.
Rooms are included. Transportation's included. Meals are included. The experiences are included. And you get an ABD guy.
Yep.
So like, it's worth it.
Yeah. So it's really just the flights on top of that.
Right. I would love to talk to, like, maybe interview one of the ABD people because they're like the amount of work and knowledge that they are just walking around with in their brain about these locations has to be off the charts.
I'll share with you an ABD guide contact that I have. When I went to Disneyland last year, after I went to Disney World, like 2 days after I went to Disney World in March, I met an ABD guide, and he and I are the same. We're the same people.
He's a Caleb? No.
There's manatee.
2 of them? There's
manatee.
2 of them?
He's a manatee.
Fellow
manatee.
alien manatee.
Just like our Globus guy.
Okay.
Also a manatee. We're the same.
Yeah.
So, I need the Dapper Manatee. I'm gonna call him out on TikTok. Dapper Manatee, whoever you are, I know your name is Mitch, but like, is that really your name? We need to connect. Dapper Manatee, we need to connect because we are the same.
Be cool to have him on. Share some
It would be.
stories.
He's a good dude. Yeah. Oh, the amount of stories. Story time.
Yeah.
I love it. I love when he breaks into his different stories.
If you've been following me for a long time, you'll know that I'm a cast member. Yeah, it's me.
He's great.
I love that guy. He's a good dude. Yeah. Is that it for news?
I think that's it for news. I was going to try to smoothly transition into something to do with a galaxy far, far away or something along those lines. But that doesn't work for any of the stuff we were just talking about, except for the alien manatees.
Alien manatees.
Yeah. So let's
Speaking
talk
of adventures,
about Maul. Yeah. Speaking of great Jedi and adventures, let's talk about Maul. Maul was so good. All three of us have at least had the opportunity to check it out at this point. I was annoyed the other day. I was watching the finale and I had to stop with 19 minutes left, and I'm like,
oof.
So I was a little frustrated because like adult stuff, like you have to bring your kid to school or to pick him up from school.
Overrated.
All of those things that are overrated. As a dad,
who needs school?
I mean, right?
When you got Maul.
Exactly.
He's a teacher.
He will teach you. He will teach you to be a great Jedi somehow. So I am excited. I'm excited for season 2. I'm excited that they announced season 2. Because man, if they left us where they left us at the end of that series, with nothing, I would have been pretty upset.
Yeah, that's fair.
Should we get it?
That was a pretty epic ending, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, let's spoiler warning. If you have not watched all of season 1 of Maul Shadow Lord, we're gonna talk about it a little bit. It's great. There's definitely some plot points that I didn't care as much about. I guess just my own bias, but I just want to see more of kind of Maul and his team and their inner workings. I didn't care as much about the whole like Lawson Two Boots stuff as much.
I love Two Boots. What do you mean? The Two Boots guy, he's the guy from the IT crowd, man.
I know,
he's awesome.
I know.
Yeah,
that
guy's the best.
But like that whole
he's like, look,
like
I got new
subplot,
boots.
I didn't. Yeah,
I got new boots, and you didn't recognize me. That was the funniest thing ever.
That's just another version of 3PO. Like, you probably didn't recognize me because of the red arm. It's the same joke.
It's so dumb.
Except for his name is Two Boots.
Yeah. So anyway, not that it was all bad. I just didn't care about that subplot as much. The really interesting stuff for me was the whole like Maul and Devin and Master Daki kind of back and forth. And he was really like training her from almost the jump, like whether she realized it or not, like
for sure
planting those seeds of like, trust your emotions, use them. It'll make you more powerful, like all that kind of stuff. And then to finally see her embrace that, like, I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited for seeing some Sith apprentice kind of training because we've never seen what that looks like. There's been some stuff in like comics, but never like in animation or live action. So I'm excited for season 2. I think there's still a lot of meat on that bone for what they can do with Maul because we know where he has to end up, but I think there's a lot of ground they can cover. And he ends up as a pretty broken character by the time Rebels comes around. So something pretty heavy has to happen, whether Devin ends up getting killed or betraying him or switching back or something has to break him. So I'm curious to see how they do that.
Is he a Sith though?
I mean, I guess technically he's not, but he's a dark side user. Like,
correct.
There's nothing. There's nothing gray about it for a couple reasons. Number one, that's not a real thing, and number two, he would not identify with any of the Jedi principles at all. So, like, the whole idea of gray, as ridiculous as it is, implies that you're using some of both sides, and he is not. Like, ridiculous. he is a full-on Sith, but his biggest enemy is not the Jedi anymore. His biggest enemy is Sidious.
Right.
So it's
the only reason why I asked that is because like Vader and Sidious, right? We have Master and Apprentice, and there's 2, right? The rule of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vader has his Inquisitors,
who are not apprentices.
We're not apprentices. They're not even Sith. They're just minions, essentially. And that's why I was like, is Maul even considered? He can't be Sith because that's Sidious and Vader. Like that's the 2. So he would have to be on like the same level of like Inquisitor, but like not the minion portion. So
yeah.
But I do like the fact that he's kind of like Rogue. Like he's gone like a complete route of like, I am the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which is cool. So like he's really focused on Sidious and Vader and all that, and the way that plays out at the end of season 1 is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like that made me so happy, just because we talked about it last week. I was like, all right, Maul versus Vader. Tyler, what's your take? And then we get that. So like that was cool.
We get that, and Maul is obviously in a weakened state. So he's kind of lucky to hold his own at all. But I think it does say something about like how powerful he is to still be able to hold his own. But also Vader, if he really wanted to, probably could have just ended him
very easily.
Yeah.
Very well, and that's just it. Like that's Vader in his prime, right? Like that's
because this is about a year after Order 66.
Freshly angry, right?
Yeah.
He's freshly angry.
Yeah. He not only that, but he's walking around and he's swinging in that lightsaber. He's fighting 2 of them with one hand, for the most part. I was watching. I'm like, is he really just doing this with one hand? Well, yes, he is. And I think honestly, I think he was having a good time. He was having fun messing with these guys because he knows there's no immediate
that way, but
no, for sure not. But he was.
There's no joy on the dark side.
No.
Well, unless you're Palpatine, he seems to be having a good old time.
Yeah,
he does seem to be having a good time. He's got lightning shooting out his hands. It's all pretty good.
He's laughing at everything. Yeah,
he thinks everything's hilarious.
Vader never laughs. It's a very different thing. I guess being the Sith Master is probably a lot better than being the Sith Apprentice.
Mm-hmm. I would think so.
Yeah, Vader's kind of the guy that has to take all the orders, and then I think that's why he got himself Inquisitor, so that he didn't have to fill the orders.
100%.
Well, it's just they they couldn't be everywhere to track down all these Jedi, and it's funny how the more media comes out, the worse it seems Order 66 actually did, because there's just more and more Jedi that it turns out happened to survive.
Yep.
So like, was it the worst order of all time? I don't know. But I mean, the Inquisitors are kind of interesting because like a lot of them are former Jedi, or at least Force sensitive beings that are kind of manipulated into doing this, but then some of them seem like they genuinely are all about it. So I don't know if that's like a brainwashing thing or what, but I think they're really interesting characters, and it's just another kind of level of bad guy, because you can't just always go straight to Vader.
Pretty cool.
What I wonder, so and this may have been an obvious thing, but what I wonder, they didn't really like spend any time pointing out that Maul was trying to get her master killed, like, but it was pretty, I mean, it looked pretty obvious. Like, it was subtle. Like, he force pushed him toward Vader instead of like, he wasn't like, he didn't actually kill the guy, because that would have caused her to like lose her mind over and fight him.
But he didn't not kill the guy.
Well, he didn't, but she didn't see it though, and she'll never know.
Well, but
it was just a subtle force push.
The part that she did see is when they had to jump over that, like, the acid stuff, and how he helped him there. So I think that was really, it's all performative. It's just to get her being sympathetic to him. And then when she's not looking, it's like, okay, I'm going to get this guy out of the way. Which I think might have been kind of a, maybe not spur of the moment, because at that time he didn't know Vader was going to be there, but I think it just all kind of works out. It's like, well, okay, this will take care of that problem for me. And then it's just me and her. And then she'll be exactly where I want her to be.
Maul is a master manipulator.
Like, well, look who his master was. Like, he learned it pretty honestly.
Pretty well. From the best. So he's very much like, how do I make this work out for me? And so here's an interesting perspective. He's sort of a mercenary on the dark side, right? Like he's very much like, I'm in the interest of me, and if that benefits you, cool. If it doesn't, like, well, too bad.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see where they go with it, because I'm not super interested in like the crime syndicate kind of stuff. I think that's just kind of background. Most likely. to like his character stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think all in all, like, I think this, I would give this like a solid like A- for the whole season.
Yeah, that's fair. I would give it a solid just A.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. I think that seeing that Maul is powerful, but also seeing that he is not the most powerful. Like Vader was targeting his electronic areas that were exposed every time he hit him. Deliberately picking him apart in specific ways. I mean, I really just do wonder what it is that causes him to turn into that crazy spider leg guy in the desert. Like, I think that's going to be.
That was before this.
Oh, did I mess up the timelines? Oh God, how am I supposed to keep track of all this? There's so much. Okay,
because that was during Clone Wars.
So during Clone Wars, he was a spider guy.
He was Spider Maul, and then he escapes that, takes over Mandalore, which is why some of his commandos are the Mandalorians. And then the ones that are still with him are the only ones who survive the end of Clone Wars, the Siege of Mandalore. So after he fights Ahsoka, those are the few that are still loyal to him. So this is post Clone Wars.
None of them. Did any of them survive at the end of this season?
No, I don't think so.
They were all like, how devastating. And I don't know the woman's character name, but one of the Mandalorians, the main one. Do you know her name?
Rook. Is that Rook? No, I forget. But yeah, she was in Clone Wars. She's like one of his top commandos. And then her meets a very timely end.
Was so cool. So she almost makes it out, then gets force sucked back into the woods, and all you hear is crunching. That's crazy, dude. And we don't see it. You don't need to. You don't need to see it happen. Like the fact that he just was like, nah, you're not going anywhere. Sucked her back in, did something, and then she was just no more. Just so cool. So yeah, as far as my grade, I would give it a solid A- as well. I really enjoyed it. I really wanted him to yell Kenobi for some reason, but that obviously wasn't happening here. There was no reason for that to happen. So
just out of nowhere,
yeah.
Kenobi.
I love the way. I mean, he does. He's really mad at Obi-Wan, man. He's really mad.
I will say one last point I'll make. I think the really smart idea was to not have Vader say anything, because I think two things would happen. Number one, the voice can't be right, so people will pick that apart. But number two, I think it will take away from seeing everything from Maul's perspective. It would just be a distraction. So I think we're supposed to be on his side of it and kind of how he's internalizing everything. And like, obviously we know who Vader is, but like seeing him sort of realize like, oh, like you're no Inquisitor. Like, what is this? Like, I think any dialogue from Vader just takes away from that. So that was a really smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was terrifying enough. He's almost more terrifying without saying anything, from Maul's perspective. He has no idea what this guy is. And he's just like, he's trying to fight him. And he's like, I clearly can't beat this guy. Like, not only can I not beat him, I can only hit him maybe one time. It's pretty crazy.
And Vader didn't even break a sweat.
No, because he has, he has liquid cooling inside that suit. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was very, very fun. So our main topic this week is called Coast to Coast Dad Mode, where we're going to be kind of breaking down the two coasts in the United States, Disneyland and Disney World. And I've got it broken down into some specific segments. So first thing we're going to talk about is the vibe and the mental load. So what I want us to discuss is the Disney bubble of Florida versus the urban reality of California. Is it easier to switch off from the real world at Disney World? Or do the surrounding streets of Anaheim make Disneyland feel less high stakes and more approachable?
Yes to both. Yeah, I would say, I think people will probably expect me to just say Disneyland's better in every single way. Not necessarily true. I think there's some advantages there. I do love the Disney bubble. Not everybody does. So I think there could be some pros and cons. I think, especially like just based on the hotels, like with fewer options in Disneyland, and even I would argue like if you're staying at Pixar, you're kind of leaving the bubble anyway, because you're going to see outside of the bubble more than you do in Orlando. So, but the advantage that California does have is easier to plan because of the overall size and only 2 parks. And I think their Lightning Lane system is a little easier to grasp, especially if you're not, a repeat visitor.
Yeah. The Disney bubble in Florida is definitely nice, to be able to literally escape what would be reality and not have to worry about anything on the outside of the world. You can't even see it unless you're like on top of Expedition Everest, and you can see some of the taller resorts off property. But like even then, you're like, that's so far away. So it's nice to know that like if you want to escape, you can in Florida. But if you're looking for something that's less, I don't want to say like less immersed, but like it's not as secluded. Yeah, we'll use that word. It's less secluded. Disneyland is perfect for you, and also too, like you think about like doing things off property at Disney World. You're like, yeah, I can go to Universal because it's same place. No, it's so far away. Like I told this to my client yesterday. I was like, Disney World is 43 square miles. It's the size of San Francisco. Like that's how big it is. And she was like, no way. And I'm like, yeah. It's huge. Like they're like, well, we're trying to figure out how we can do our water park day. So like, should we go to Typhoon Lagoon or should we go to Blizzard Beach? Because they'll both be open when she's there. I was like, well, think about this. You've got a thing in Disney Springs that you're doing that night. You're doing a dinner there with some friends. If you're going to go to Blizzard Beach, that's all the way over by Animal Kingdom and Coronado. Like the bus ride there is going to be a transfer. You're going to go to Animal Kingdom, to jump off the bus there, get on another bus and go to Blizzard Beach. And then you're going to have to go back and get ready for your dinner. You're going to have to do the same thing backwards. So take the bus to Animal Kingdom, then Animal Kingdom to your resort.
Yeah, because there's only a couple resorts that do direct bus service to Blizzard Beach. Is it Coronado and Animal Kingdom Lodge?
No, Coronado is even a transfer.
Oh, it is?
No kidding?
Yeah.
They have to go to Animal Kingdom first?
They have to go to Animal Kingdom first.
That's crazy.
I think the only one is like the All-Stars.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think those are the only ones with a direct bus to Blizzard Beach. And they're staying at Pop Century. So I was like, so why don't you, this is what I would do. Go to Typhoon Lagoon.
Skyliner to Hollywood and then bus from there.
Well, you could do that, but you could take bus, Disney Springs, Typhoon Lagoon. Bring your change of clothes to Typhoon Lagoon, then take the bus back to Disney Springs, and you're good. That's where your dinner's at.
For me, that feels like a lot to pack. I would want to take a shower and actually be, depending on where I was going at Disney Springs.
Okay, but even still, like that bus ride back is way shorter than the hour and a half it's going to take to get you to and from Blizzard Beach.
And it does, and it is one of the things to kind of take into account is that, like you said, the distance between places is not all the same. So, like I was talking with my client yesterday, and she was talking about, how long is it going to take by bus to get over to Magic Kingdom from Hollywood Studios? And I was like, well, it depends on the time of day, maybe 40 minutes. Like
if you catch the bus right away.
If you catch the bus and you're not waiting at all, 40 minutes, something like that.
Are you counting the time you're waiting for the bus, or are you just counting the time where you're on the bus?
Right. Yep. So she's doing, even though she's doing a more like laid back version of a 3-day trip to Disney World, she's still fitting in a lot while doing a lot less than other people. So like she's got a lot of time in between different things, and she is park hopping. But what that does is that brings up the question of trip length versus an intensity. So what would you guys say about comparison of a 3-day Disneyland sprint to a 7-day Disney World marathon? And which one leaves Dad feeling more like he needs a vacation from the vacation?
So a 3-day trip to land, I don't think will feel like a sprint. I think it'll feel more like a marathon because you do only have Disneyland and California Adventure as far as parks go, and getting back and forth between the parks is not hard if you're hopping. But I think after 3 days, and if you're going hard in those 3 days, like you're gonna wish you would have taken a week off and done the 3 days there, and then taken another 2 days plus the weekend, to recover. 7 days at World, I think there's enough time in there where you wouldn't have to really feel too exhausted, because you'll have 2 days of no park unless you're doing all 7 days. Like that's wild. I don't know why you'd do that.
Not recommended. No,
don't do that. Don't do that.
You need some pool days in between.
Unless you're like 7 days and you're like, yeah, I want to go just to see Epcot and do
You're doing
some
like half
food in
days or
Epcot.
whatever, but then you're
Right.
spending a lot extra on those multi-day tickets
Right.
to not really get the value.
Right. So like, do that if you're a veteran and you're not worried about missing stuff. You're just doing it because money at that point don't matter. You're just going and like, yeah, I want to do Epcot, or like, man, I want to rope drop Animal Kingdom because like that sounds fun.
Yeah. I think the trade-off, 3 days, even if you're doing, park days every day at land, the easier planning and the ease of getting around, especially if you're staying at any of the hotels, Disney or otherwise, that are walkable, then you're not waiting for transportation. So everything is kind of more on your own terms. So I think that takes a lot of the burden off. When you're in the bubble at World, you're reliant on so many other forms of transportation. I mean, outside of the Skyliner, which is pretty much constantly running, you could be, 20 plus minute wait for the next bus or a boat. So that just feels like it's adding so much, or monorail. It feels like it's adding so much more that's out of your control. So, but if you have the 7 days and you're not worried about squeezing everything in, you're going to have those rest days, then I think both are very doable. But I don't know, to me, and you've made this point before, Caleb, but like Disneyland just feels like kind of a breath of fresh air because it doesn't demand as much of you to plan.
Right.
So,
and Disneyland is very, I'll say user friendly.
Mm-hmm.
It is very user friendly. It's very easy to navigate, very easy to just have a good time, because you're not really stressing about much. It's really nice.
Yeah.
World is a whole different animal.
Yeah. And, if you want to get into the weeds of, dining reservations and stuff like that, like that's all there for you. But I think it's a lot less of a requirement than it would be at World.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So following up on your your Skyliner monorail ferry system travel, point. While complex, what do you guys think? Does the Skyliner actually make the dad commute more enjoyable than just walking through a parking lot in Anaheim?
Yes.
Yeah, 1,000%.
100,000%.
Because honestly, like Skyliner, it's basically an extra ride you don't have to pay for, which is awesome. You have the multiple stops, so it's a great way to resort hop. Try some different foods or snacks around those different resorts. And you get a nice breeze up there and some cool views. So it's like, yeah, always better than just walking through a parking lot.
And the coolest part too, because let's say you're walking through a parking lot, like you're going to get on a tram most likely. If you're like in World, right? If you're walking through a parking lot, you're getting on a tram. You probably have, if you have kids, younger kids, you got a stroller with you. You got bags with you. You got all this crap that you're bringing along because, the wife decided to bring the kitchen sink along with the house. So you've got all this stuff. You get on Skyliner, you just roll it on. You don't have to unfold it. You don't have to like navigate, throw bags on. You just roll it on, sit down. You can't do that on a bus. Can't do that on the monorail. Sometimes you can, depending on that crowd level, you can just roll it on. But like, otherwise you're folding it up, throwing it in the back of an Uber or a Lyft because you're tired of waiting. As a dad, guilty as charged. I've gotten frustrated waiting for a bus at Magic Kingdom. And I was like, screw it. I'm ordering an Uber, and they didn't have one. And then I was like, I'm doing a Lyft, and they didn't have one. So I paid the money and got a minivan.
Oh boy.
And like, that was brutal, but I was frustrated because the bus wasn't coming. We stood there for 40 minutes and no bus.
Yeah. And I was like, this is dumb. That's the risk you take when you're staying at one of those resorts that's not connected to monorail or Skyliner.
Right.
So that's like, as much as we all love Coronado, that is the single biggest drawback to it. Mm-hmm. But you just kind of have to build that into your plans. Now, typically in the mornings and at the end of the day, they're running them a lot more often because that's the higher traffic times. But yeah, during the middle of the day, you might be waiting 20, 30 minutes between buses, which can get frustrating. So then I would always tell a client to like have a little bit of a budget, a ride share budget kind of built in, because it will save you. The time is worth the extra expense.
Yeah. And that's why I needed why I did the minivan, because I needed that. I had a dining reservation in like 20 minutes from when we were there. And I was leaving Magic Kingdom early enough that like, the bus ride should be fine. Get there, get dressed, whatever, leave. Yeah, I was down to like, I have 5 minutes to get to the resort and get changed. to give me enough time to get to Springs. So like, I need a minivan because they're going to be there now. And I couldn't wait 15 minutes for the lift of the Uber. So I was like, minivan it is. And, $93 later, we were there. But
Ouch.
the time was worth it.
That hurts.
It did. It did bad.
That hurts.
And it was really bad because it was just me, myself. It was me, my daughter, my wife, and 2 friends. Like that's what it was. And we weren't even getting anywhere fancy for dinner. At like it would have been not one thing if it was like, oh yeah, we're going to like the Edison or wherever. But no, like we were just going to T-Rex because my daughter loved the animatronics. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
That was a choice.
$93 later. Yikes. But that is one of the things that you can run into is having to work around that if you're not willing to wait. Because you do hit a point where, like, what's the threshold for patience? Because you have that. I mean, everybody has their threshold for patience.
Well,
when I'm at Disney World,
it's yours or your kids.
Well, it's mostly your kids because I can wait a long time for a free bus. But my kids might not be able to do that. Which is why he has a phone now, and that can entertain him while we're sitting there on the ground. But one of the things that's really different between Disneyland and Disney World is the tech planning. The getting up at 7 a.m. 1 week before your trip to make your lightning lane reservations for the whole trip versus walking into the park, making those lightning lane and just getting what you need to get is pretty different. And I struggled with that the entire time we were there. I'm like, what do we have next, guys? What's going on now? Like, what are we doing? And Caleb's like, I got this. Like, you just boop, boop, boop. Oh, we're going here next. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to go there after that. Okay. What do you mean this is a stress-free experience? What? That's crazy. Like, just knowing that and knowing the difference between the hundreds of restaurants that you could possibly be eating at and just walking up to where we did and just getting, quick service. Like, let's compare the quick service versus like Disneyland. Exactly. Tyler's got his hand up there. The Disneyland quick service is up here. The Disney World quick service is definitely maybe middle. But does it matter for your kids? Like, do they care?
Probably not.
They will. They will be made to care.
They will be made to care. We will complain about this quick service meal for the rest of today, and you will understand that it is not the same as Disneyland.
Yeah, like I almost want to like force my daughter to have a churro when we're in World and just be like,
get it
tell
on
me
video.
You understand now. Tell me you understand now.
And she's
like, you think I'm just making this up, but no.
Just a churro.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's exceptions both ways. I'm not going to sit here and say every single quick service at Disneyland is great, but I think the median level for each is vastly different.
Yeah.
Just as an example, I mean, there's nothing on the level of Bengal barbecue at Disney World.
Flame Tree.
Not on the same level.
Polite Pig.
That's a sit down, and that's not in a park. So
it's not a sit down. It's quick service. You go in there, go to the counter, order food.
It's also not Disney owned, so I don't think it's a fair comparison.
That's fair.
Polite Pig's good though.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not comparing apples to apples. We're talking like in park quick service. There's just there's a difference, and of course we've talked about this a million times. The cheeseburger spring rolls do a lot of the heavy lifting to bring up that average, but then for every one of those, there's probably 10 examples, and you just fed right into the point I was about to make that that's bringing the average down. Yeah, I mean, you can do an entire Disneyland trip without having to do a table service meal and be fully satisfied if you know where to go.
Sure.
And that doesn't mean just wandering into, the lunching pad or whatever and just getting like your standard like theme park burger, because that's not where it's at. But like, go to the stuff that's unique, and you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, World definitely is. It aside from Epcot,
Yeah, Epcot is its own beast.
Yeah,
So,
aside from Epcot, everywhere else, well, and Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom has a couple. That's why I say
has some
it's
good
not
food.
it's not everything is better at one or the other.
But like
just
you look at Magic
if you
Kingdom
average
and
it
Hollywood
out,
Studios. Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. When we were there at Hollywood Studios the other night, and we went to go see Fantasmic and we did some stuff there or whatever. I was like, where do we get food at here?
I mean, Woody's lunchbox, I guess.
But those tachos are good. Tachos are good. The adult lemonade's really good. But like outside of that, like,
I mean, I think like there were some decent things when we were there for Jollywood. There were some decent things, but those were pretty much all the special menu items.
Yeah, the party exclusives.
Yeah, so like the ABC commissary had some good stuff. It had those birria tacos, but that's not an all the time thing.
No,
yeah,
it should be though.
It's tough.
It should be. That should be every day, always.
They have the over by Star Tours in Hollywood Studios. They have what is it? The backlot.
No,
quick service
Express
back there.
is,
and like it's just burgers and fries, and like it's not even good burgers. It's the theme park burger.
And there's places that like in Animal Kingdom we talked about, like is it the smiling crocodile that does like the dressed up fries?
Yeah. Super good. Super good.
So there are things to be found, but it's one of those planning things. Like Disney World feels like you have to plan more ahead to know where the good stuff is. And Disneyland feels like you could just happen upon something good just, by chance. Mm-hmm. And that's at either park. As much as I'm not a huge fan of DCA, but like wandering through Cars Land, like, oh, what's that cozy cone? Like get a mac and cheese cone. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
So good.
And that's where having a travel advisor comes in big help. AI can't do that for you. Back to that news item I was talking about. The AI can't tell you those good spots because they're going to be like, oh, yeah, go to the launching pad and get a burger. Like, no, don't do that.
Well, they do have burgers there. And you can get one.
Eat yourself a turkey leg. Don't do that. You'll be sad.
Don't do that. Oh, God, you'll be so sad.
In California, get a turkey leg. Maybe not.
Maybe next
time. The flavored ones.
No, the ones in the flavored ones, yes. But the ones in Florida, don't do that. No, they're always dry. You'll always be sad. All right, so to kind of wrap this segment up, so let's do a rapid fire round where we are picking our winner for a specific scenario. So first one is best for a toddler's first trip.
Land.
It's kind of hard to argue against Land because there's so much stuff that's like in that age range and is really, I mean, the storybook. Oh, well, yeah.
Storybook Canal, like all of Fantasyland, the kinetic energy that it has, the walk around characters, the live music, that small world. I mean, come on. Like, yeah.
Perfect.
That one's not particularly close for me. It's Land.
Nope. I would agree.
Practically perfect in every way.
I would agree. All right. So best for a guy's trip, dads only.
World. Epcot.
Mm-hmm. I would think you could spend some pretty significant time just eating around the world, hanging out with your buddies.
I was just thinking margaritas, dude.
I mean, these three guys right here could do Land and be totally happy.
Yeah, we'd be fine.
Sure.
We'd be fine.
For sure.
Like, generally, guys in general, you got to probably plan around Epcot. Yeah,
and then
Hollywood Studios.
Oh, we love some Hollywood Studios. That's true.
Mostly for Star Wars.
Spend some time at Galaxy's Edge. Maybe get to that hotel that that's not there anymore. Oh no. Womp. So last one, best for the budget conscious dad.
World.
Probably World because the values could help out.
World.
But what about the good neighbor hotels?
Yeah, I mean, you could compare. I mean, a lot of times recently when I've been comparing, the All-Stars come in under any of the good neighbors.
Yep.
And then you get, I mean, with the promos that they have, like the 30% for the summer and stuff like that. Yeah, the All-Stars, because I've seen them as low as like $159 a night. So if you really don't care about which resort and room location, and it's purely about budget, like we can do that. And then you still get the benefits of staying on site. You get the early entry, you get the better access to transportation, blah, blah, blah. So I'd say overall, it's probably World because even the budget ones in California aren't at the price point of the values in Florida.
Mm-hmm. All right. I can see that. Well,
and it's probably cheaper for most people to fly to Orlando than it is to the LA area as well. So,
and the transportation to and from the MCO to World or World Resort, like $16
so even
per
if you have
person
to
round
pay
trip?
for Mears
How
Connect,
much?
it's not bad. Or even if you Uber, it's not terrible. But if you're able to fly into Orange County or Long Beach, it's about a 30-ish minute drive or Uber, and so it's not terrible either. That's what I'm going to be doing in July. So it's just part of the whole experience.
Right. So, yeah, I would. Yeah, World is, and for the same price at land, you can go 3 days there, and then you could do 7 days in World, cost wise. So like,
If you're not doing park days every day, yeah.
right. So it's just makes sense.
all right. Well, that's an awesome segment. I think, man, I think we pretty much would all go to Disneyland, and I'm excited to. Again, I'm going to keep harping on this until it becomes a reality where I'm able to take my family to Disneyland to experience Walt's park. So we can answer probably maybe 2 questions from the tips and tricks group this week. So I've got 2 questions here. Let's see. Karen Gotris asks, "We'll be at Disney Wednesday and Thursday with my 4-year-old. We're annual pass holders in the park hop. We booked lightning lanes for his favorite parks. Was only able to purchase afternoon lightning lane passes. Staying at the Art of Animation. Any suggestions on what best to do in that morning? She's seeing standby waits for the AM are not more than 5 to 25 minutes. I'm not sure what rides she's looking at for that, but that seems
Where's she
pretty
going?
nice. So she said, any suggestions or advice would be appreciated to have the best of our days with the afternoon lightning lane passes starting around 3 to 8 p.m.
What park?
Disney World.
Planning Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I'd hit Hollywood Studios in the morning. I'd do that from Art of Animation. That's just easy. Get there right away. Knock out some rides there.
What would you
Schedule
do for
all of
rides?
Well, I mean, Muppets is down, so like you can't do that. But 4-year-old, I mean, I would be going to the Elsa Anna Frozen sing along show thing there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'd go to that Slinky Dog,
That whole area.
Mickey Minnie's.
I'd go see the Indiana Jones show, catch the first showing of that.
I mean, as an alternative, if you didn't want to do park that morning, I would hop the Skyliner to Riviera and try to do a breakfast at Topolino's, because that is the character breakfast.
Yeah.
So
Topolino's is so nice.
Yeah. I would love to try breakfast there because I've only done dinner, but I've heard great things.
Same.
Yeah.
And I'd love to do a redo for dinner where my nephew doesn't throw up on the terrace. So last question. I know this question will vary as everyone's different, but I booked Not So Scary Halloween Party Labor Day weekend, which as we discovered, Caleb, is one of the cheapest weekends that you can be at Disney World. I did end up booking a client, and she is going to stay at Wilderness Lodge for the same price as she would have stayed at Port Orleans Riverside in October for that same price. It's an amazing thing that they have going on with the 30%.
Get those extra hours.
So to finish the question, let's see. Is it a bit much for one day if we use the free water park day before the party?
Yes.
I would say so.
I love water parks, man. I don't know. It depends. So here's what they're doing.
Where are they staying?
They're not doing any other parks while they're there. They're not going to do any other parks. They leave Monday. They're just hanging out. No children. So what they would probably do is they would go like hang out in the wave pool and maybe do some slides, just chill out. It would almost be like a pool day, except for they'd be at the water park. So I think it's doable, but knowing what a marathon the Halloween the parties are, and trying to experience everything you want to do there, because you're not, like we talked about, you're not going to the Halloween party to experience rides when there's less lines. You certainly could do that, but there are experiences and things and treats and snacks that you can't experience any other time.
Shows.
So,
yeah. I would lean towards no, just because it feels like that's going to be too much of a marathon day. Because part of the question was a flight gets into Orlando around 10:30, which means you're probably not getting onto property till noonish.
Yep.
And then that's getting to your hotel. And then you have to change and then get to whichever water park, which probably puts you at around 1. And then the party lets you go in starting at 4.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, that's going to give you like an hour in the water park if you need to go back to your resort to change and then get over to the party. So I don't think it's doable unless you're okay not going in right at 4, because the actual party doesn't start till 7. But to me, like to get the value out of the ticket, you kind of have to get the most time. I would lean no based on when the flight gets in. If the flight got in earlier, maybe, but that's still going to be a really long day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're not even figuring in the time that it takes to get from whatever resort they're at to the water park and then back, and then the change and the shower and wash off the chlorine and then get dressed and then go. Like that's a lot. That's like by the time you get to the water park, you're like, all right, get back on the bus. That was fun.
Yeah. They didn't tell us what resort they're staying at, so that doesn't help us tailor the question that way. But Tyler did catch on that one sentence that I did miss when I was reading the question that I had copied down. So yeah, I would also say no.
There's a lot of asterisks here, but like if you're staying at Coronado and you're going to Blizzard Beach and you're willing to do rideshare, so you budget for that because that'll be a pretty short ride, it might be a little more doable. But outside of like a very specific circumstance between resort and water park, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, but otherwise, or you're staying at Riverside and you're wanting to go to Blizzard Beach
or Key West, something that's right over there.
You're not doing it.
Still, unless you're willing to go in late, I don't think it works. So,
and you paid the money to go to the party.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not paying the money to go to the water
park. You paid extra money. Yeah, you paid that.
As we talked about last week, $30 more this year versus last year. So get your money's worth.
Get that candy.
Go in that extra hour early. Spend the day there. See the shows. Meet the characters. Do the trick or treat lanes. Do the exclusive foods. Catch a few rides because why not? But like, do the thing you paid to do to its fullest.
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing because otherwise the thing does you. Like.
Well, on that note, gentlemen, that wraps another episode of the Grim Grinning Dads. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, follow us on all the places podcasts live, like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow us on social media. We're always active on TikTok. Caleb's on there daily, posting some things. We are looking to get to that 2,500 happy haunts. We're going to get there. It's just going to take a little while. Just check out the TikTok channel. Maybe not. Maybe it'll blow up real quick. And again, we are travel agents. We specialize in Disney vacations. So if you'd like one of us to help book your next vacation to Disney or otherwise, send us a message or fill out the form in the show notes below. And be sure to join us next time when the dads come out to socialize.